We wouldn't know anything about him. We wouldn't care anything about him if he hadn't risen from the dead. At best, he would have been a footnote in history. Maybe we would have heard about him as a teacher, but probably we wouldn't know his name at all. What makes the difference happened in a place like this. The story of Jesus for us, a relationship with Jesus for us, starts really in a tomb at his resurrection and not first at his birth. It's because he rose from the dead that we know anything about him at all. He was beaten, swollen, cleaned up a bit, then wrapped in strips of cloth, and 3 days later, he came to life again. The story of Jesus starts in a place like this. This is a first century tomb. They would bring the body into the tomb and they would place it on a bench like this. This is called the arcosolio. They would wrap it in strips of cloth with aromatic branches. And then about a year later, they would re-enter the tomb, gather the remains, the bones, and place them in a bone box called an ossuary. Then they would take an ossuary and stick it in this niche. That's why these tombs had to be able to be re-entered. And Jesus' tomb had a rolling stone as a door. Let me show you the rolling stone as the door for this tomb. Here's the entrance to this tomb. And this is a rolling stone that would have served as the door. They would have rolled this back in order to come in and gather the bones a year later. This is what the women and Peter and John would have seen rolled away from the tomb. His would have been much bigger. This particular tomb was cut down into the hillside in order to create enough space to cut back into the hill to make the tomb complex. Let me climb up out of here and I'll show you what it looks like today. Now, if that explanation didn't make sense, let me show you another one.